Oh my god, it's the Castaway Anyway Bagel for the Road yearly annual tradition. It's the Pokemon tier list, baby!
When was the last one of these? Because I
I
genuinely
think,
forget.
I can't check right now because hold on, let me check my phone because I can't move off of the tab on my OBS recording.
Alright.
A bagel
Yeah, well,
for the road.
while you're doing that, I'm just going to introduce everyone. Today we're finally doing Generation 4. And for this specific generation, this is one of the two gens that I would say I grew up with. This is the first gen of mainline Pokemon games that I ever played. Although, strangely enough, I am much more nostalgic for Black and White, I think, and its Pokemon. And so I'll be a lot more biased for that one. For this one, going into it, I feel like this... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to give any overall opinions just yet. We'll see how it shapes up, because I'm genuinely not sure how it'll turn out. I was surprised by how good Hoenn was. Like, I've been surprised specifically
That's because Gen 3's peak, dog.
by how each generation has had, like, an average of designs we like more so far. Like, we rated Gen 1, you know, so-so, then Gen 2 a little higher, then Gen 3 really high so far. Speaking about averages here. So, I am interested in seeing if this continues the tradition, or not, or if it doesn't.
Actually, it's funny you say that. I have been keeping track of, our averages for these tier lists that we've been making for Pokemon to, like, see where our averages line up. Let me see if I can grab the last one real quick.
We're pulling up exact
Pokemon.
stats here. We're
Going
full-on mathematician for these tier lists. By the way,
I'm...
You're what?
Go ahead. I was gonna say I'm just retarded, and I forgot where I placed the fucking. I forgot where I put the the note for it. So just say what you were gonna say while I search.
Yeah, I'm just going to inform the viewers. I am shiny hunting while we're doing this, and I am keeping my eyes peeled. I am hoping that we get the elusive on-camera shiny reaction. It probably won't happen. Don't get your hopes up. On camera, on microphone.
There's no face camera, and there's no footage of the game, so you could just straight up lie, and people would take your
Oh
word
my
for
god,
it.
it's a shiny Poplio. That's what I'm hunting for, by the way. A big mistake, because I forgot just how long the cutscenes are in this game. Thankfully, I'm on Ultra Moon instead of the originals. Apparently, the cutscene is way longer in the originals. And so I did choose, by accident, the better of the two games to hunt in. It's still like I timed it. It's done optimally. It's 2 minutes and 15 seconds per reset. So it is awful.
Yeah, the fucking Gen 7 tutorial is the worst part of Gen 7. I did find the tier list average note, and I have it ranked in everything that we rank in God tier. I give 6 points, top tier 5 points, high tier 4 points, etc., etc. And then average it all out by the number of the total of all those numbers with the average number of the Pokemon. And for Gen 1, we have an average rating of 3.702. In Gen 2, we have an average rating of 3.87, and in Gen 3, we have an average rating of 3.815. So we actually like Gen 2 on average the most.
Okay, I was actually surprised by that.
Granted, that's kind of a biased sample size because Gen 2 only has 100 Pokemon, whereas Gen 1 had 151 and Gen 3 had 135.
Alright. I forget how many Pokemon this gen has specifically. I know the regional dex had 151 in Diamond and Pearl. But also for some reason that, if I'm recalling this correctly, for some reason that excluded the evolutions of old Pokemon. Those just weren't in the original Diamond and Pearl. I mean, they were in the game, they just weren't, like, you couldn't reasonably have access to most of them during the actual game.
I think if I did my math right here, there's 108 in Gen 4, 108 new ones.
Alright, so we've got decent pickings.
Yeah, Gen 4 of all the generations is the one I've replayed the least. So I've not played it since my very first playthrough of it, well over a decade ago. So this is
I
gonna probably
played
be.
so much of this as a kid. Dude, recently I was
I
trying to do a Nuzlocke for it. I ended up failing, and I haven't really gotten around to it again. But I, when I first tried to save the game, I got like a wave of like Vietnam flashbacks from my childhood. Like, oh yeah, it takes like a
You made it sound
minute
like
to
it's a.
save this
Oh,
game.
okay. Yeah. It also takes a minute for the health bars to deplete.
Bro, saving a lot of data. Gen 4 is so poorly optimized. We had to have a separate message for when, this is just to notify people, hey, this is gonna take forever.
Yeah, just like this list, which hopefully won't take as long. Let's enough dilly dallying. Let's get right into it. The starters, starting with the Turtwig line.
Yeah, so thus far the starters have been, I'd say all of them are ones that I would reasonably choose. This is the first generation where there is one that I would not choose under any circumstances. I'm gonna be straight up. It's Chimchar.
Now I historically am a big fire starter slut, but even this time I gotta be like, he's better than Tepig, but, and I don't hate Chimchar, but going from firefighting Blaziken to firefighting Infernape, it just did not do much for me.
Because Blaziken is just the cooler firefighting.
Yeah. Like the Infernape is cool in his own right, but to go like to be the follow-up act to Blaziken does him no favors.
Although
It's
funny
like we've
story.
already peaked.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we've already peaked. Why are you trying to top perfection?
Well, see, funny story from my childhood. Chimchar was the first starter I chose as a kid, but I really didn't want to choose him. The reason why is because I was like 6 years old, right? Barely able to read. I mean, okay, I was of reading age, but I guess I was just spamming A too much. I believe Chimchar is the default option that you get if you just spam A. And I accidentally chose Chimchar, and, didn't think that, I could just restart the game. Like, it's been 5 minutes, I could just totally get Turtwig, because that's who I liked as a kid.
Were you like going off of kid logic, and you were like, "Oh no, I've made my choice. I can't undo it."
I would assume so.
Otherwise,
I never beat that save file. I've actually surprisingly never beaten Gen 4, which is strange because I've beaten most Pokemon games. The reason why is because my furthest run, this is still as a kid, mind you, so I'm like probably more like 10. When I finally get to the Elite Four in this game on a save file, I get destroyed by the first Elite Four member, the bug guy, and then I just never touch the game again, for some reason. I played games weird as a kid.
Yeah. Well, all right. We are in agreement that Chimchar is the weakest, the starter. Are we in agreement that none of these starters are like bad though? Like they're not awful.
None of them are awful. I'd say Infernape is just mid, not mid tier per se, mid in a general sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm fine with putting Infernape in high tier. Well, I know we're going a little out of order, but I don't think he breaks into top tier. I think high tier is fine.
I think
it's still
high
cool
tier.
His head is on fire. He's got like a cool gold accent to his design.
I think Infernape is a fine high tier. He's definitely the best of the three, in my opinion. I think.
Oh, you actually like him? Oh, okay.
Okay, of the three monkeys,
I was gonna say I like him the best of Torterra and Empoleon. You're fucking smoking dick.
Yeah, I think Infernape, he does have some sauce. And then Chimchar and Monferno. I don't know why Monferno's eyebrows are blue. That's always been weird to me.
I don't know why either. Even as a kid, that bothered me. It's like, Oh, okay. Is he gotta get like more
See,
blue? But like,
blue and
no, I
red.
think only his eyes become blue or something like that.
Blue and red is such a cool color scheme, but they put it in like the worst place from Inferno. It does
It's
not
not
look
even blue
good.
and red. It's blue and orange.
Blue and orange, yeah. It's just weird. And I think for that reason alone, I'd say Monferno is easily the worst of the three. I think he looks awkward and not in a good way.
Does he break into piss tier? Because I think he.
Okay, that's not. There are some Pokemon I already know in this generation that are way worse.
I'm just gauging because I don't think he's down in piss tier, but he's definitely. He is not getting any higher than mid tier. I'd put him in low tier, honestly.
I was thinking mid tier as a gut reaction, but honestly, because he is so much worse than Chimchar, I think that just to have the differentiation, I'd say low tier as a baseline for Monferno and then mid tier for Chimchar. Because Chimchar, you know, he's goofy, but he's kind of cute.
Yeah.
I will say, I think Chimchar is being carried a little bit because he fits. Oh god, what's the rival's name in this generation? Hugh? Is that his name? I feel like I
the blonde
made that
guy?
up. The blonde guy. Yeah. What's his name? I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue.
Isn't that Barry?
Barry, yeah. I feel like I think Hugh's from Gen 5? I don't know. I don't know where I got Hugh from,
Gen
actually.
5.
Okay.
You're thinking of Black and White. Hugh and Bianca.
No, that's Sharon and Bianca. I think Hugh is the Black 2 and White 2 rival.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I feel like
Black 2 and White 2.
I feel like Chimchar is being elevated just because if you choose Turtwig, you get the starter that objectively fits him the best. Like they are a match made in heaven, and Chimchar, he looks good with the Chimchar.
God, stuttered on my words there for a second. Did you ever watch the Gen 4 anime with Paul and how he was just a dick to his Chimchar to the point where he lost too many battles? He just fucking released him.
Oh, I do remember that. It has been so long since I've even thought about that anime.
And then they set up the redemption arc for Chimchar where then Ash catches him, evolves him into Infernape, and then he tries to get the run back on Paul at the end of this series.
Yeah, I don't know how far I made it into the Gen 4 anime because I know I had DVDs for it, so I know we got pretty far. But yeah, I do remember that whole plot line.
Yeah, if Chimchar found his way into high tier by the end of the list, I wouldn't complain, but I feel like mid tier is fine for him right now.
I'm not sure if I'd put him in high tier personally. I'm not that attached to him.
I'm fine with how we have things right now. All right, now we gotta ask the question: who's better, Turtwig or Piplup?
This used to be an easy question for me. You know, back in the day, I'd say, oh, Torterra easily. I mean, he's literally got the earth on his back. That's so cool. But recently, I was like, literally, my most recent Gen 4 playthrough for the Nuzlocke, I tried using Turtwig at first. And it was so annoying how slow he is. Like, in the context of a Nuzlocke, that is the worst thing you can be. And I switched to Piplup just to get some extra speed. So,
I will say,
in that process, yeah, Piplup and the rest of the line did grow on me.
I do like Piplup. Piplup's definitely cuter than Turtwig. I like Turtwig's overall design of the three starters the best, because I like the gnawing turtle jaw that he's got going on. I love his little stub feet. I love the little sprout on the top of his head. And while I do like Piplup, I like the two little, looks like he's got buttons on the front of him. His perfectly round head with a little beak protruding out, and the little thing around his neck kind of looks like it's like some kind of ribbon or like little like top accessory. Makes him look very dapper and like, you know, like a well-dressed penguin. Did you ever see the Detective Pikachu movie?
Oh, I did. Oh, that was so long ago.
Do Do you remember what they did with Torterra? That was the coolest thing from
Yeah,
that movie.
yeah. There were like these giant Torterras
that they were just like living on. Like they were like, wait, they were experimenting with Pokemon when like making them like giant. Like where are they? And then they realized we're just on a fucking Torterra this whole time. That is like the coolest lore thing they've ever done in that movie.
Yeah, God, it's been so long since I've seen that movie. I watched it in theaters, and then never again.
It's also same. So, if we're talking Detective Pikachu Torterra, that's like god tier by himself. But normal Torterra don't get that big, so we're just going off of he's just like he has your backyard on his back instead of an entire island.
I mean, I still think. I mean, I feel like he's got a shot even at normal size, honestly. I really like both Torterra and Empoleon.
Yeah, I do. I love how fierce and slick Empoleon's design is. The black really does everything for it.
I think Steel Water is just such a unique, like a starter being Steel type, I feel like makes Empoleon even cooler. Because I can't even think of, God, is there another part Steel starter? I genuinely can't think off the top of my head if there would be, yeah.
I don't think so. I think he's the only one that gets Steel.
And I think that's really cool. Like, that's such a unique typing for a starter, because typically, like, Steel type is stupid good. You don't really get that unless you actively go searching for it. But here, you just have it pre-packaged into your little cute penguin.
Alright, I know we're going out of order here, but let's see where we're feeling first. Do Torterra and or Empoleon make it into god tier?
I'm gonna make the case for both. I think they're both really cool. I think Empoleon has grown on me as of recent, and Torterra has just been my goat since I was a kid. I feel like both are good for different reasons, and both deserve the god status.
I am hard-pressed to disagree. Can we agree that Grotle and Prinplup are not very cool? All the middle evolutions for this generation are kind of lame.
I actually like Grotle. I don't think, obviously not as cute as Turtwig or Piplup or whatever, but I think Grotle, he still looks like a chill, cool guy. Prinplup, hella goofy, though.
He looks like a Chia Pet. That's what throws me off. He just looks like a half-finished Chia Pet.
I don't know. I like the guy. Prinplup goofy, though. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, I'd put Prinplup in
mid. Yeah, mid. I'd say that's a good place. I'm gonna gun for Grotle and high. I think Grotle deserves it. I think Grotle's a good high tier.
I think Infernape looks better than Grotle. I would put Grotle in mid as well.
I'll allow it for now, but if we get some real lamos in mid tier.
Turtwig and Torterra are better than Grotle, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I feel like
I'll permit it for now. But if we get some real lamos in mid tier, I will remind you.
Dude, Turtwig and Piplup make it into god tier.
I feel like Piplup would have the best shot, because I think Piplup is just so goddamn adorable, and I would want to keep one as a pet. Turtwig, I don't think quite makes it. He's a chill guy. I like him.
I would also like to have a Turtwig as a pet, though. I'd like to have both of them. I want to pet a Turtwig, and I want to cuddle a Piplup.
I feel like Turtwig is a good top tier. I think Piplup is... I'd put Piplup in god tier.
Would you also like Turtwig in god tier? Would you be fine with that?
You know what? I wouldn't fight too hard against it.
Because there's also a part of my brain that's being like, they're as cool as they are and cute as they are, they get so outshined by Torterra and Empoleon to the point where I feel like there's a part of my brain that's saying maybe we should put both Turtwig and Piplup in top tier. Cause like, are they better than Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle?
Honestly, yeah. Low key.
Really? You like Turtwig?
I'm
and
not
Piplup more
that
than the
I'm not
OG?
that attached to the Gen 1 starters. I mean, I think I said it in the
I
tier
like
list
Squirtle
itself.
more than Piplup.
I think I like Piplup more. I think Piplup is cuter.
I think the entire Squirtle line clears the Piplup line. Blastoise over Empoleon all day.
I disagree. I actually like Empoleon way more. I've never been super big on the Gen 1 starters.
Damn, I guess it's just the Gen 1er in me coming out in full force. Alright, well, we got our obligatory 10+ minute diatribe about the starters out of the way. Now let's see if we can crank out the rest of these. The Starly line.
Starly and Staravia, I don't think are anything too special. Staraptors goated with the sauce, though. Staraptor is cool.
Yeah, Staraptor is an auto god tier, right?
I would not. Okay, not god tier. Not god tier. I'm thinking
Really?
top tier for Staraptor, but I would not go god.
Name a better final bird.
Fuck. Well, definitely not Swellow. I mean that bitch don't even get close.
Let me name off some birds. Pidgeot, Fearow, Noctowl. Was there another bird in Gen 2 that I'm forgetting?
I feel like there might be. No, I feel like they just spammed Pidgeys in that game as well.
What was the Gen 5 bird? Unpheasant?
Unpheasant, yeah.
6 was
Talonflame.
Talonflame, right.
Gen 7, I straight up don't even remember. No, wait, no, Toucannon. Who's literally just a toucan.
Gen 8, I literally can't even remember the Gen 8 bird.
Oh, Gen 8 was oh, wait, Gen 8 is Corviknight, isn't it?
Ooh,
Corviknight's
Corviknight.
fucking...
Okay.
Okay.
Corviknight is the only one that can challenge Staraptor. Maybe also Talonflame, if only because fire flying for the bird line in a Pokemon game is pretty cool, but like Staraptor and Corviknight are fucking, they have aura.
Staraptor is cool as shit. I love the red on the little hair floof, or I guess feather floof
I love
specifically.
how fierce it looks. Fucking Brave Bird.
You want to know what's putting me off here? I actually never used Staraptor as a kid. I just
crazy.
didn't.
Staraptor
Yeah.
was a fucking main. Outside of being my dedicated flying, Pokemon that knows fly in my party, Staraptor was just goated. It was like it was like one of those rare times where it's like, oh, I don't have this Pokemon out of obligation purely because it knows fly. I'm glad to have a Staraptor on my team.
I'm still thinking top tier
badass.
for it. Like, as cool as it is,
it's so cool though.
I don't think it touches the starters.
I think it deserves god tier status more than Turtwig and Piplup. I don't think I can put it over Torterra and Empoleon, but I definitely think if we're letting Turtwig and Piplup break into god tier, then Staraptor deserves it too.
I don't really agree with that. I think
feel
Turtwig
like we're
and
gonna be
Piplup
pissing a
deserve
lot
it.
of people off if we don't put Staraptor in god tier.
You think that stopped me before? You think all the Swellow fans? You think I care about their plight?
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. We can put Staraptor in top tier for now. We can revisit this later. Meanwhile, Starly and Staravia. Starly is kinda cute.
I feel like they're both kind of mid tiers, honestly.
Staravia's definitely mid. I'm fine with Starly being mid. Like, if someone, depending on the day that you ask me, I could be like, is Starly a high tier bird design, like base bird design? Maybe. But maybe I'm also biased because he turns into God in bird form.
Yeah.
Into the hype moments and aura of the bird.
All right.
The Bidoof.
Can we put Bidoof in God tier?
Are we that Reddit pilled?
You know, there's a part of me that's joking, but there's a part of me that's not joking. I feel like Bidoof
Well,
is
alright,
solely
think about it
carried
this
by the
way.
internet.
Every single Diamond and Pearl player had a Bibarel on their team to be their dedicated HM slut.
Yeah.
No one wanted Bibarel on their team because they wanted him. They had him because they had to.
Listen, he's not the hero we wanted, he's the hero we need. Because we need an HM slave in this game that requires like 10 of them.
Bidoof is funny. He is a pretty funny guy. I feel like this is a case where the internet has made him funnier than he is. Whereas, like, you know, just looking at him by himself, he's kind of funny. But then I think about, you know, what the internet has turned Bidoof into, and I'm like, okay. For that reason, I don't think he belongs in God tier because, like, Slowbro is a Pokemon that gets funnier the more I look at it.
Well, Slowbro is the greatest Pokemon ever made, so, you know, you can't really compete with the GOAT of them all. But
I'm bouncing between high tier and top tier for Bidoof.
I'm unironically really endeared to Bidoof solely on the basis of all of the memes about Bidoof and how it's been a running joke for like how long now, ever since these games were out. Bidoof is the ultimate regional rodent.
I will not be able to sleep with myself if we let Bidoof in God tier over
Oh, well, not in God
so...
tier. I can put Bidoof in top tier.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Bibarel doesn't share that.
No. I'm fine with high tier, because he's still kind of a funny chonky boy, and I think he's better than everyone in mid tier.
I would actually rather put Starly in high tier than Bibarel, I'm not even gonna lie.
Really? You
I don't
like
really
his big funny tail? And his big funny mask?
Here, let me pull up an image of Bibarel real quick, because I remember there's like a very specific qualm I had with his design the last time. Okay. So, pull up an image of Bibarel, if you will. Where are his ears?
I mean, I'm looking at him.
Where are the ears on this Bibarel?
You know what? Alright, maybe I do need
that
to
is ever since I've noticed that, I have not been able to look at Bibarel the same way. It's just, why are there no ears? Why can't I see them on top of his head? Exactly.
Oh my god, they got rid of his ear. They fucking clipped his ears.
Bidoof had them, Bibarel didn't. Bibarel doesn't have them anymore. Bibarel can't hear anything. Bibarel needs Braille.
Bibarel can't hear the haters.
I mean, hey, at least Bibarel is finding the Reggies real easy, but other than that, I mean, that's why he's so weak.
I'm actually gonna Google real quick. I want to see if there's a lore explanation. Why does Bibarel have no ears?
I mean, I feel like the explanation has to be that they're hidden behind his fluff, but the fact that they were on top of his head as a Bidoof and now they're no longer.
Yeah, okay, I guess that's... I still don't think that should preclude him from high tier, though.
I don't think Bibarel is getting the high tier on this one, in my personal opinion.
Okay, we can put him in mid. I'm not... I will go on record and say that out of every Pokemon in mid tier, he's the one that I feel like deserves to be in high tier the most. Kricketot.
Kricketot is cute. I mean, you're never gonna use
Kricketot without. Yeah, I was gonna say you can't talk about Kricketot without talking about Kricketune and one of the most infamous Pokemon cries of all time.
Oh, I can hear it in my head right now.
I do like his funny mustache. Kricketune having a funny mustache is getting him a lot of points.
I think they're both silly little guys. Obviously, I mean, you're never gonna use one of these in battle. but as a nice flavor Pokemon that exists, that you can be like, well, that's kind of cool. I think he fulfills his role perfectly. Kricketune is like the ultimate just there to be there Pokemon. But like in a good way.
Given everything, I'd put him in high tier.
I don't disagree. I think he's a silly little guy.
Meanwhile, I put Kricketot in mid. I've actually never been too much of a fan of Kricketot.
You know what? I'm fine with that.
If someone were to make an argument for low tier, I wouldn't be against it.
Definitely not low tier. I don't think he deserves that bad.
Okay, we gotta ask the question right off the bat: is Luxray god tier?
Absolutely. Is this even a question?
Yeah, dude, fucking look at him.
Luxray has been on every team I've ever played this game with. Granted, he's also been on every team of every single human being that has ever played this game.
Luxray, like, learned from Absol in the art of aura farming and just your pose.
He's so fierce looking, so wild looking. He's so cool.
Yeah, shout out to my Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers bros for the Luxray arc. Y'all know. Yo, real ones know.
Yeah, I also love the red and yellow eyes. Dude looks like he's about to fucking kill you with that stare.
Yeah, Luxray will kill a motherfucker. Like, if Game Freak weren't a bunch of pussies, they would be in lore canon events reports of Luxray killing trainers in the wild.
All right, and as for the other two lions,
Luxio on the other hand, Shinx is cute. I'd put him in high tier.
I'm thinking top tier for Shinx. I think Shinx is so unbelievably cute. I think he's an adorable boy. His
color scheme is goated. The blue, yellow, and black, that the light blue specifically with the black is kind of goated with the sauce.
Yeah. I saw a YouTube video that pointed this out, how the line gets less blue and more black as it goes on. So, like, you've got Shinx being mostly blue with just hints of black, then Luxio that's like a clean 50-50, then Luxray where there's barely any blue left.
It has shed the innocence and cuteness of its past.
Yeah, but Shinx is a cute boy. I'm thinking top tier for him.
I'm fine with that. I am fine with the Shinx top tier. If I got a plush of all the Pokemon on the list so far, a Shinx plush I think would go the hardest.
That would, yeah. And then Luxio, I'm okay with high tier for.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too. He's like the perfect midpoint between Shinx and Luxray. Like he fits the line, but he just like he kind of loses the cuteness of Shinx, but doesn't quite yet have the raw aura of Luxray.
All right, now I feel like this one might be divisive. Roserade God tier.
I don't know about God tier.
Roserade is so cool, though. Dude. Look at her.
She is, remind me again, in case I'm stupid, does Roselia evolve into anything else besides Roserade, if you choose to do so?
No, Roselia only evolves into Roserade.
Okay, I for some reason I got it and Gallade crossed in my brain.
Dude, Roserade is so cool, though. Roserade is literally the little leaf mask, the white tulip on top that looks like this fucking fluff of hair. Yeah, I don't know why that took me so long. The little, the flower hands. Every part of it is so cool.
It's cool. I've just never felt like, oh, it's God tier cool.
Dude, when I was playing it recently for the Nuzlocke, one of the first Pokemon I sought out was a Budew to get it to a Roserade. Dude, the little leaf cape behind it.
I'm looking at Luxray, I'm looking at Empoleon, I'm looking at Torterra, I'm looking at
I
even a
think
couple Pokemon
Roserade-
coming up on the list shortly.
I think Roserade is absolutely on par with every other Pokemon we've put into God tier so far.
No, not Luxray.
Absolutely.
Come on, you don't actually think
Absolutely.
that.
I do think that. I
You
do
put
think that
Roserade on the same tier as
100%.
Luxray?
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you a Gambit, the Staraptor Gambit.
I will accept the Staraptor Gambit. I am way more passionate about Roserade God tier than Staraptor top tier.
Okay, I'm fine with that then. Badoo on the other hand
Is
a
also
little-
God
he's a
tier.
little
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding there.
I like that his bud opens up into Roselia.
I think Badoo is actually
Um,
one of the best baby Pokemon. I think it deserves high tier. I think it's super
Yeah,
cute.
I'm fine with that. I like its
Yeah.
cute little face. If you don't put Rampardos in God tier right this goddamn second.
Well, we're gonna have a problem here because I would not put I would not put either of them in God tier.
Look at
Don't get
okay,
I
not
think they're good.
Cranidos in God tier, but Rampardos.
I don't look. I like Rampardos. I would go top tier. I would personally
No,
go a solid top tier.
Look at that color scheme. Look at those spikes. Look at those red killer eyes. He's got the same Luxray red killer eyes. He's a fucking dinosaur that's gonna smash your fucking skull into dust.
But I think Luxray pulls off the look better. Just straight up. As much as I like
say Luxray
Rampardos,
looks fiercer than Rampardos, but like, dude, look at the fucking the color scheme is perfect. I like how it gets like the gray of Cranidos goes from a light gray to a darker gray, and it gets the black stripe around the blue skull thing.
I'm not feeling a God tier with this one. I think I would rather put Staraptor in God tier than Rampardos in God tier.
That's
that,
crazy.
yeah, straight up. I think Rampardos is a solid top tier. I think Roserade is cooler than Rampardos. I'm gonna say
I
it.
disagree
I'm gonna say
it. Rampardos fucking eats Roserade, literally.
Not literally, because Roserade's a grass type, but you know.
I mean, in real life, Rampardos would eat that grass thing alive. Would eat it like it's food. Rampardos is so cool though. I pray we get Mega Rampardos.
That would go sick with
myself.
it. We are getting, to be fair, we are probably getting new Megas in the Legends ZA game.
I'm begging on my hands and knees, Game Freak.
On an unrelated note,
I looked at my Audacity, and my recording level is also going down again. Fix that.
Rip.
Son of a bitch. You'll have to tell me how you fix it later. No, I'm not fucking budging on this. Rampardos is God tier.
I can allow it reluctantly. You allowed Roserade, so I'll allow Rampardos.
All right, Cranidos, I like him a lot. I'm thinking high. I don't think he's quite cool enough for top tier, but high
I think
tier,
he's a solid
definitely.
high tier.
Yeah. Shieldon and Bastiodon, aka Rampardos with less sauce.
I don't actually disagree. Sorry, I don't actually agree. I think Bastiodon has just as much sauce as Rampardos. I think Bastiodon is super cool. I mean, okay, Shieldon,
like
not so much. Shieldon is goofy and dumb, and I don't really like him that much. Bastiodon, though.
I don't dislike Shieldon that. I would say Shieldon mid.
I would go Shieldon mid as well. That's what I'm thinking.
But
dude,
my problem with Bastiodon, I hate how his head is a rectangle. It's not even like a cool shield-like shape. It's just it's a rectangle.
That never bothered me. I still think he's cool. I still think he's a cool defensive-looking tanky boy.
He does look like he could tank a fucking missile to the face and walk that shit off.
I'm thinking top tier for Bastiodon, where Rampardos would go in a fair world.
I am at worst high tier with Bastiodon. I've also never been big on his color scheme. The yellow is just not nearly
I
as
actually
cool
like it.
as the blue.
I think it makes Bastiodon look ancient. Like, he is literally a fossil Pokemon. And so him having,
It's
the
true.
yellow sandstony colors with the gray, I think it completely fits him.
What are the in-universe little yellow things on the above his eyes?
I assume just a pattern on like the Triceratops frill, like maybe it's there to attract mates or something like that. If you wanted to get, really deep into the weeds with it. Yeah,
I'm
I don't
fine
think
with
it's
it
deeper
being
than
top.
that.
If we can put Rampardos in God tier, then I'll agree to Bastiodon top tier. Burmy.
I definitely I like Burmy mostly because of his appearance in Pokepark Wii with the he's on the treetop.
And the fact that he can have different coatings depending on the weather environment.
I kind of like that for Burmy, but I don't really like Wormadam, like, at all. Like, literally, I don't have any love in my heart for Wormadam. I'm sorry. It's just a worse Burmy.
Yeah, I mean, I get why.
I don't like the beak.
I also do not like the beak. I can kind of see why they felt the need to include a middle evolution.
It's not it's a branch evolution. It can be either Wormadam or Mothim.
Oh. Oh,
which,
okay.
by the way,
It's been a hot
Mothim
minute since I played
is.
Gen 4.
By the way, Mothim
I
is
thought
like
it went-
not. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I thought it went Burmy, Wormadam, Mothim. Why is Wormadam a final evolution?
Why would anyone? I mean, okay, I don't like either evolution, if I'm being honest. I think they're both worse than Burmy. I think Burmy, no matter which, you know what? It's like real life. Whichever option you go down, you're losing sauce.
No,
you're screwed
I like
either way.
I like Mothim more than Wormadam.
I like Mothim more than Wormadam, but I don't like Mothim as much as Burmy. I think we peaked at Burmy, and then it's only downhill. You're avoiding loss after that. Like, it's only downhill. You just choose the less bad option.
I would say, now that I've remembered that you have to choose between Wormadam and Mothim, why the fuck would you ever pick Wormadam? What is literally just slightly bigger Burmy?
Yeah, I think Burmy is deserving of a high tier. I think he's kind of a cute boy. The other two I am not too fond of. I think both would go in low tier.
I would put Wormadam in piss tier with the knowledge that that's supposed to be a final evolution.
You know what? I won't fight you on that. I will not fight you on that. Mothim, definitely low tier. Burmy, I would go high tier.
Okay, this image of Mothim is a little small. Let me get a bigger blown up.
Okay, you know what? I can do that as well. But I think Mothim is like one of the more boring. It's kind of like Venomoth. You know how Venomoth like just took all the soul out of Venonat and we didn't like it that much? I feel like Mothim is like a slightly less bad version of that. Like, it's got more pleasant colors.
I like the colors.
Yeah, the colors are nice, but otherwise, it's just a moth.
I would say Mothim escapes low tier. I would say I'd put him in mid tier.
I don't really.
I like his eyes.
I still feel like it's low tier. I won't fight super hard for it, but I'm not really a huge Mothim fan.
I'm fine with putting him in low tier. I don't care about him that much. I don't care much for the Burmy line. As far as Burmy high tier goes, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that. Let me look at the Burmy coatings again to refresh myself what they look like.
I remember the trash one looks really ugly, but the other two are cool.
I think the green one is the only good looking one. The sand one looks like
Okay, now that I'm
shit.
looking at the sand one
trash looks
again.
like shit.
Okay. You know what? That convinced me. It's been a while since I've seen the other two.
I think if we're judging it purely on green on like plant Burmy, I would say mid tier. If we're incorporating the other Burmy forms, I think that averages him out to low tier.
What? Nah.
Two of his 3 forms are dog shit.
Then get the good one. I feel like it's a mid. I feel like it's a mid tier.
I don't know, man. 66% of all Burmies in the universe are doomed to be unloved.
I mean, maybe someone
like
likes the trash Burmy. The weird pink. Why is the trash Burmy pink?
Why is it pink? What are those little like?
Well, those are
things?
straws, I believe.
Are they?
I think.
I like the plant one.
Whatever. It can go. I'm not passionate enough to continue debating it.
Yeah, I feel like the average brings him down. If it were just the leaves, I'd put him in mid, but we have to average everything.
Right.
Combee.
I've never been a big fan of either Combee or Vespiquen, to be honest.
My friend group has a running gag where we take Combee and we turn him upside down and be like, "Holy shit!"
Oh. Okay, I think I get it.
Yeah, it's really stupid. For that reason, I'd put a Combee in high tier.
I'll allow it for the running. You've convinced me.
Yeah, Vespiquen is badass though. Like I do
really?
like Vespiquen.
I don't. Let me get
menacing.
A big image of Vespiquen out.
Vespiquen looks like she'll fuck you up.
I mean, she looks like it, but I don't think it looks fierce in like in a cool way or like in an appealing way. I think
it sells.
It's just always been a really mid design. In all honesty,
I think it's always sold the bee queen. I feel like if it had bigger wings, it would go into top tier. But the tiny size of its wings, which I guess they're trying to keep it proportional to like the head and stuff. But if the wings were bigger, I would say it would go into top tier, but because it has tiny wings, I'd say it goes into high tier right next to Combee.
I'm thinking it's mid. I really don't like Vespiquen.
Dude, the honeycomb acts as a dress? That's cool.
Kinda, I guess. I just find the entire design wholly unappealing. Like, when I think sick bee Pokemon, I'm only thinking Beedrill.
I mean, like, Beedrill fucking blows the shit out of the water, but
obviously,
I'm not Vespiquen. I
don't think she's that cool looking.
I feel like it's a clever design. Like, I'd feel bad putting it in mid tier. I feel like there's too much effort and creativity in make a queen bee Pokemon.
Well, I wouldn't feel bad about putting it in mid tier.
Damn. We can revisit this. Pachirisu.
Pachirisu won the world championships that one time, and that is like the sole thing earning it points. Just that knowledge.
I'm not too knowledgeable on Pokemon TCG goings. I did hear that story. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's a cool design. I like the blue, white, and yellow.
It's a good color scheme, I'll give it that. And it's one of the less offensive of the Pikachu clones. One of the less entirely generic. I mean, I feel like that sort of got more of a problem as they went on. This was still pretty early in the Pikachu clone days.
Was it, remind me, was it Pikachu and Pachirisu in the Pokemon anime that were constantly battling for Baniri's affection?
I would not be able to tell you that. I barely remember the Diamond and Pearl anime, dude.
I would put Pachirisu in high tier.
I agree
it's
with
not
that.
as cool as Shinx, but it's very cute. Buizel.
Buizel is... You know what? I like both Buizel and Floatzel.
I've never been too big
I think...
on... I don't like Floatzel purely because I just think it's lazy. I think it's just a bigger, fatter Buizel.
I will say I like Buizel
really.
more. I think Buizel looks iconic. Buizel got that main character. Buizel has main character energy to him.
No,
I feel
Buizel
like he does. I think Buizel
has
cool.
cool side character. He's a fan favorite side character.
I mean, I guess that is the literal reality of it.
I would say Buizel is high tier and Floatzel is... I almost want to say low tier because they just didn't fucking try.
No, I'd say mid tier.
Okay, I'm fine. I'm fine with Floatzel mid tier.
I will agree it's not a super creative design, but come on.
Why has he got a blue spot on his crotch? Not blue spot, orange teardrop on his crotch.
Look, you don't have to mock him for his tramp stamp, all right? Come on, low blow.
Fucking tramps. Cherubi and Cherrim. Unfortunately,
we're really forgettable.
The tier list has the shitty version of Cherrim where it's covered up, and not the.
I like the Sunshine version. Sunshiny Cherrim is very cute. That being said, this is the same gen that has Roserade, so like, come on, you're never picking this one.
Sunshine Cherrim happens when you use Sunny Day, right?
I believe so. And so you're mostly, unfortunately, you're mostly getting the shit version of it, if I'm remembering the mechanic correctly.
I feel like that averages out to Cherrim to mid tier because this design by itself is low tier, but then the pink Sunshine one is, I would say, is high tier. So I think it averages out to mid.
I agree with that, and I think Cherubi probably... It's just so forgettable, though.
There's not much going on. It's just cherries. It's just cherries with eyes and a mouth.
It is very standard.
It kind of has like an execute thing going on where like.
Well, see, execute is like at least funny.
There's one a goofy face.
I feel like execute is funny though, and that like earns it some points, even if it's a bit ugly.
So I have a question, and maybe Pokemon lore heads will know the answer. What is the second smaller head of Cherubi supposed to represent?
I think it's just because cherries are usually depicted as there being... I mean, this is a very stereotypical depiction of a cherry, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking like the mechanics of it, like as an organism, as a Pokemon. Because what happens when it evolves into Cherrim and there's only definitively one face?
See, I feel like Pokemon isn't going to... I don't think there is a lore explanation.
Am I asking too many questions? Are we aborting the second cherry head because it's malnourished and clearly not as developed as the first one?
I would assume so.
Alright, well, where do we put the aborted Pokemon?
I think it's going low tier for me.
Yeah, I agree. Where does the second head, Game Freak? Where did you put the body? Speaking of forgettable Pokemon.
What? Forgettable? Dude, I love Shellos and Gastrodon.
I forget Shellos exists
every
time until I see it.
Shellos, I remember you. I always remember you in Diamond and Pearl. Unfortunately, you're really slow and difficult to actually use in battle, but
the only thing I remember about Gastrodon is Muddy Water and how I'd spam it.
Dude, I love Gastrodon's design a lot.
I like Gastrodon more than Shellos.
Definitely. Shellos, the only thing putting me off about Shellos is the little...
I think Shellos has a stupid looking face.
That's the little bill, the orange lips. They look like a duck bill.
The lips. I I hate the lips. I hate when it opens its mouth. It looks weird.
But
I hate
come
its fat
on.
fucking lips.
Gastrodon. Gastrodon. I still like Shellos. I still have affection for Shellos. But Gastrodon's so cool and dorky looking. I want this sea slug to be my best pal in the region.
I'm fine with Gastrodon in high tier. I don't think it's got enough going on to bump it up into top tier.
You know what? I can agree to that.
But Shellos,
I'm going.
I think it's got a stupid looking face. The two variants. You get the pink one is like the pink one's supposed to be anemones on its head, and then the blue one is supposed to have like what I assume are supposed to be like wings and flowing hair.
I think mid tier for Shellos.
I would go low tier for sure. It's got
I'd go. I like it. I like it. It's a bit stupid looking, but he's come on. He's a friend.
Let me lower the list more. Ambipom.
Ambipom god
we're
tier.
into the evolutions.
Ambipom god tier.
The evolutions. Really?
No, not really. Piss tier.
Okay.
This thing looks so stupid.
Let me blow up another picture of Ambipom.
Oh, if you show a big picture of it, you're gonna be able to see every hideous detail of it.
I hate its nose. Why is it a nose hole? Why is there a hole
How
where its
did
nose
you
should
mess
be?
up an evolution for Apom? Because you've got Apom, who's a cool, silly guy, and then you've just got this.
Okay, let me remind
He's
myself
got a
of what
bowl
Apom
cut!
looks like exactly.
He's got a bowl cut! Why are there lines there?
Oh my god, it is a bowl cut. I hate how Apom's grin has kind of been diminished.
Apom's grin now looks demonic. There's no eyebrows. Ambipom has no eyebrows.
Well, okay, Apom didn't have eyebrows,
okay.
To be fair, but he also had rounder
him.
eyes. Apom had rounder eyes. Ambipom has weird oval eyes. He also gained a nose hole. His Apom's tail, even though if you really look at it and like the end of it, just kind of looks like three growths on one malformed tumor. Now it looks like the tumors are pustulating with red, like blood is building up underneath them. It's doing it no favors.
Yeah, like Apom, they took all the swag of Apom and took a de-swagging Ray.
I'm trying to look at the little tufts of fur. Okay, those are coming out of the tail. I thought they were like little tufts on like his legs.
They're still weird. I don't know why they're there suddenly. It doesn't look right. No part of the design looks right.
Also, the lack of fingers and digits on Apom's hands was cute because he looked like a little ragdoll monkey. Now it just looks unsettling because he's more like upright, and now I think the arms kind of look even thinner. And now I'm just like,
yeah, I feel like there should be, 3 little fingers on there at the very least.
Yeah, I'm fine with pissed here. I was gonna at first I was like, yeah, I don't think he's pissed here, but then the more I look at him, the more I'm like, no, I truly do despise him, and I think Apom's better.
Yeah, it's
Dryfloon takes away children, and I think that gets him a spot in God tier.
Drifloon, I actually really like both Drifloon and Drifblim. I think they're one of the best inanimate object Pokemon. I think Drifloon is really cute, and Drifblim, I wouldn't say cute or even cool, but there's something about the design that has some sauce to it. There's a clear sauce here that I am just appreciative of every time I look at it.
I would say, I mean, the canon child kidnapping is pretty based and pretty funny.
True.
If you took that away from him though, I would say Dryfloon, just like he's it's a very quaint design. It's not doing too much. It's not doing too little. It's quaint. It's neat. I would say Drifloon is high tier.
I'm alright with that. And then Drifblim.
Drifblim. There's always been something about Drifblim that like I've never been over the moon about.
Here's a fun story about Drifblim from my childhood. Drifblim in both Pokeparks is basically your instant transportation. If you talk to Drifblim, she'll take you anywhere in the game, so long as it has a Drifblim post. And so, you get the cute cutscene of the Drifblims carrying you and all your friends in Pokepark 2.
This might
him.
sound weird. This might sound really weird. You know what I think Drifblim is missing by default?
What?
If it somehow had like a little basket underneath it, I would think I'd like it more.
Depends on how they execute it. Because that is... Yeah. I don't dislike the idea, but...
I mean, it's not the weirdest thing
it could go either.
Why does Blastoise's like biological evolution include water cannons? Don't ask questions, they're just awesome.
I mean, I remember I gave you the nerd answer to this a while ago, and you told me to, get bitches, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I feel like that's what's throwing me off. I feel like every image of a hot air balloon I've ever seen has the basket beneath it, and I feel like it missing the basket here is what's throwing me off.
I still think Drifblim is high tier. I think Drifblim is kind of cool.
I agree. I think it goes right alongside Drifloon. All right, now we gotta have the Gooner conversation.
Hear me out. And this isn't a sexual hear me out. It's a purely platonic hear me out. Lopunny is awesome. I unironically love Lopunny, and I am tasked with having to explain to people that it's not a sex thing.
Nah, fucking epic Greek tragedy. Okay, first off, we have to address the elephant in the room. Why is she thick? It's not a thing we are projecting onto her. Game Freak, Pokemon Company made her thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. She has got those hips out in her default pose.
Look, man. I can explain it to you purely platonically, alright? Rabbits have big legs, they jump very far. Lopunny has big legs, she jumps really far. Look, Crunchy, man, you just have to use logic.
Laws against the Pokemon, Crunchy. I can do whatever I want with it.
I mean, if anything, there's multiple lines of dialogue in the games that talk about how humans and Pokemons used to marry each other. So...
Can I say something somewhat unhinged that I might get called sus for?
I mean, that's like everything you say.
Why is Lopunny posed like she's asking for it? No, literally. Like, imagine a human like girl in a bunny costume doing that exact pose with the hands up to the face, leaning over, the ass like pointed outward. One foot in front of the other.
See, I get what you're saying. However,
exactly.
I'm not a furry, so I've never really seen her that way.
I'm also not a furry, but you know what? If Lola Bunny from Space Jam were to come before you and say like, "Hey, you breed like rabbits," are you so strong-willed enough to deny it?
Yeah, I don't think I would say yes.
Okay, but if it were Lopunny, though, or even Mega Lopunny, where they literally just gave her pantyhose.
The thing is, Lopunny, outside of, the conversation, the things we need to get out of the way, I just think she's cute. I think she's a cute bunny Pokemon. I like her big fluffy ears. I feel like if I was adventuring out in the Pokemon world for real, I feel like she would be like the ultimate Pokemon to have with you because you've got big ears as a blanket, but she also seems really strong. If you're tired, she could probably carry you around. She's perfect.
Okay. One last point to make. Your job, yes or no? Do you think she could do it? Does she?
I don't know how much movement she has in her ears.
I don't either.
It doesn't look like she does.
I don't know. I've never seen like too much of. Honestly, I've never seen too much of like Lopunny in the anime to see if like she like is able to control her ears like prehensile limbs, kind of like how Apom and Ambipom can do with their tails.
I think
my
Lopunny.
problem is I think Lopunny might also be god tier, but I can't say that without feeling like a gooner. Like, is that just the gooner in me saying that she's god tier, or if I like remove all of the sex elements that Game Freak themselves literally put in? Because I mean, fucking look at her. Like, does she still get into god tier outside of that?
Well, see, I'm like firmly not attracted to any of that, so I can easily say that you're not tripping, and I would not be opposed.
Okay, but if we one day do the Pokemon Smash or Pass list and we get to Lopunny, are you passing?
I am. She's too much like a rabbit. That's not a boo. That's common sense. She's a rabbit.
That mean what Pokemon would you smash then?
Gardevoir. Jinx if I was desperate.
Come on. You fuck Jinx over Lopunny. Come on.
At least she looks like a human being.
Lopunny looks like a...
I qualified it with if I was desperate. And I mean really desperate.
I mean, technically, all Pokemon are animals, to be fair. Even if they're like...
Yeah, okay, well, Gardevoir and Jinx are both psychic types, which canonically have huge amounts of intelligence. Gardevoir is probably smarter than me, so actually she's the rapist.
You know what? That's incredibly sound logic. I cannot form a single argument against. Actually, she's the rapist. Your Honor, if you simply perform an IQ test on both of us, and you see that hers was higher than mine, then she was the one who raped me.
Okay, I didn't mean it quite like that.
Flawless logic. But yeah, I'm fine with Lopunny being in god tier, even if it is like not for the meme. And then Buneary's top tier because she's cute.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Hey, Mismagius.
Mismagius is so cool.
I like it a lot. I like the spooky hat. The spooky hat's doing everything for Mismagius.
Mismagius took everything good about Miss Dravis and just built upon it. Dude, this generation has such good evolutions to old Pokemon.
There is a part of me that misses Misdreavus's color scheme with like the dark gray and the pink, and wondering what that might look like on Mismagius instead of just the all purple with the little pink accents that we have. But Mismagius,
I like the color scheme. I'm thinking top tier for Mismagius.
I agree. Honchkrow.
Honchkrow is also cool as hell.
I love the fucking mob boss aesthetic that they went with him.
Yeah, the fucking white chest that looks kind of like a beard. Dude, the color scheme. Honchkrow is just, once again, just elevates the sauce of Murkrow. Like, ideal evolution.
Yeah, I'd say it goes in top tier.
I agree with that.
Glameow.
I'm gonna be real with you. Glameow and Purugly are really forgettable to me. They are very... They're just there.
I like Glameow. I'm not liked Purugly much because like it like haha funny joke. beautiful slender cat turns into fat ugly cat.
But it just means that you're stuck with a final evolution that's ugly. It's like the reverse Feebas and
Exactly.
Milotic.
Exactly. Like, haha, funny prank, you got me. But like now I just have to have an ugly Pokemon. Like I'm downgrading.
I think Perugly is low tier. I think Perugly, it just be ugly.
Yeah, it's not even ugly in an endearing way. It's just ugly in an ugly way.
And then
And
Glammeow.
I do like the I like the springiness of Glammeow's tail.
I don't know. It just doesn't really do much for me. So like there's not really
like,
much of a reason for it to be a springy tail. I'm not sure how much it adds to the design that it's there.
I'm fine with it being mid tier.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's where I would put it.
Chingling.
Chingling is a cutie. Unfortunately, very unnecessary. I don't really know why it exists, but
It evolves into
it does.
Chimecho, right?
Yeah, which Chimecho is a Gen 3 Pokemon, so it's like your generic baby Pokemon, where it's kind of like, it inherits the problems of most other baby Pokemon, where it's kind of like, why did this need to be a thing?
The only memory that I associate with Chingling is that there's an episode of the Pokemon Gen 4 anime, where there's 3 Chingling that like live in a village that sing a little song together, and Team Rocket. I can't remember if I think they build a fake one to switch it out to kidnap the real one. And so, in order to test to see which one is the real one, which one's the fake one, they have them do the song. And so, it's normally supposed to go, they're supposed to go like in their little cute high pitched voice, like chingling, chingling, ling, chingling, ling, ling. But then the very last one just goes like fucking. It's almost like fucking bass boosted the way it just goes like a demon voice, chingling, chingling, ling. That for some reason always stuck with me.
That sounds kind of funny. Otherwise, I mean, it's cute. It do be cute.
Mid.
Yeah.
I said mid.
It's kind of whatever.
Yeah, Stunky and Skuntank.
I've never been big on these Pokemon either. I
do like how Skuntank uses its tail as like both hair and like a accent to its back to make make it look bigger than it is.
That is like the one thing I feel like this line has going for it. Thankfully it's not just bigger skunk as the evolution.
Yeah.
But I mean, otherwise
actually doing animal things.
But otherwise, I don't know. I feel very... Honestly, I don't think it's even good enough to get into high tier. I look at every Pokemon in high tier. I think every Pokemon in high tier is better than Skuntank.
Nah, I think the tail thing gets plus it also doubly works as like not only is it making itself bigger, but now it's also like a skunk in real life will raise its tail to fucking gas you.
I guess
Stunky mid, Skuntank high tier. Like plus if you get like a blown up bigger image of Skuntank and you see how it's like the tip of its tail makes it look like it has like a pompadour.
Honestly, I'm kind of feeling I would even consider putting Stunky in low, just because to me it's so forgettable.
No.
It's such a forgettable design to me.
Outside of Leaf Burmy, which if it wasn't being shackled down by the other 2 shit Burmy forms, I like Stunky more than all the other Pokemon in low tier.
I don't know, I feel like it's bad for all the same reasons as Cherubi, where it's just super forgettable.
Yeah, but I like how it looks like, much like in real life, it looks like a skunk that you don't want to fuck with. It looks dirty and musky.
Here, let me get a big image of Stunky and see if that sways me. Not really. In fact, it's kind of worse now that I look at it. Now that I look at it up close, its face looks too fat.
I like its fat face.
Its face looks kind of like a butt.
Hey, you know, that's thematic.
You know what? You raise a good point. I guess it is thematic.
I think Stunky mid, Skuntank high is fair.
I feel like Stunky low, Skuntank mid.
We don't really have any other skunk Pokemon though, do we?
Yeah, and they made some that aren't very good.
I feel bad putting them in low and mid respectively. I think they go in mid and high. I will say the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers bias is also coming out again because Skuntank was one of the Pokemon in the enemy criminal team, and so he's a real bastard and a half.
You know what? I'll let Skuntank in high if you let Stunky in low.
Feel bad, but we can always do one final look-see of the list. I have to now switch over to OBS and shrink the screen a little bit to get more of the Pokemon.
All right.
Let me just do a quick little adjustment. There, that looks okay. Bronzor and Bronzong, aka
Bronzong
Beldum,
is
but with less sauce.
I don't agree with that. I think Bronzong is so cool. I feel like
Bronzong cooler than Metagross?
No, but Bronzong has its own appeal going on. Bronzong looks
Bronzor
ancient.
Cooler than
it
Beldum?
Looks okay. Well, no, but
I say again. Bronzor Bronzong is Beldum Metagross with less sauce.
But you're not getting it. I don't think it's a fair comparison because Bronzong's appeal is different from the appeal of Metagross. Like when I think Metagross, I think big scary Ooga Booga metal monster.
Color scheme.
But Bronzong looks so ancient and weathered.
Down to the red eyes. The same red eyes.
But you're not getting that ancientness, how it feels like you're finding this mysterious artifact whenever you stumble upon it. It's so cool.
It does have a cool, like, technological, like, artifact look to it from the ancient past, and I do like that. Meanwhile, Bronzor is just kind of, honestly, kind of dopey looking.
I'll give you that for Bronzor.
Especially in comparison to how complex Bronzong gets. It's just like... And I once again bring up the Beldum comparison, because even by himself, before he evolves into the hype machine known as Metagross, Beldum looked like a cool ancient relic of stone.
But I think Bronzong has that appeal way more. I think Bronzong nails that appeal completely. Like, obviously, Beldum is still cool.
Bronzong's more of like a technological thing, whereas Metagross is like ancient stone. If we're talking like Bronzor,
I mean, I don't really like Bronzor much, but Bronzong, come on, it's so cool.
I mean, okay, I will say, yeah, Bronzong, I'm thinking like high tier at worst, top tier at best.
Absolutely.
I don't think he gets into God tier.
I think he's like almost there. I think he's someone that I would consider later on at the end of the video. I really like Bronzong.
I'm fine with Bronzong in top tier, but like, we put Metagross in God tier, and I just cannot put them side by side.
I feel like they both have their own thing going on. I know you said that thing about the same color scheme, but like, I really think I find different appeals in both of them, and I think both of them are good. That being said, Bronzor is kind of whatever. I don't know, I feel like it's
dopey looking in comparison to Bronzong. And yeah. I also think back to Beldum.
I'm not really going to defend Bronzor here.
In low tier.
Honestly, I wouldn't fight you on it. If it weren't for Bronzong, I wouldn't even consider picking one up. Bonsly doesn't need to exist. Why is Bonsly a thing? Why does it... Okay, why... I know there's a design reason for it, but Bonsly has a hole at the bottom. And that just... that knowledge is cursed.
Listen, man, you need something to keep your snacks in. You know, sometimes when you're out on your Pokemon journey and you forgot your flask of water and you're coming up to a nearby freshwater stream, you just go scoop and fill it up. Then you bring a little handmade cork with you that flushes perfectly in.
Okay, admittedly, that image is very funny because I feel like Bonsly would just be sobbing the entire time, like, no, put me down. Oh, it's even worse because you're putting water in it. It's a rock type. Oh, no. But yeah, otherwise it doesn't need to exist.
Was Bonsly a Pokemon that you could get in Smash Brothers? Okay, yes it was. Bonsly it was only in Brawl, and it's a thing where if you could pick it up and you could throw it at people, and it's like because it's a fucking rock. It's like it does 30% damage, and it knocks you back like a motherfucker. So that's like what Bonsly appeals to me as, because I just had fond memories of playing as fucking Ike, picking up a Bonsly with both hands and just hucking that shit at Donkey Kong.
I don't know. I feel like it's just so useless, so not needed. Like, I don't think it enhances. I guess. I just feel like we had Sudowoodo, and we didn't need another one. I feel like Sudowoodo did the gimmick well enough on its own. I don't know. I'm honestly considering low tier for Bonsly. I feel like it just doesn't add anything to... I feel like it's held down by the fact that it is a baby Pokemon. And the fact that, like, we didn't need another Sudowoodo. The Sudowoodo we had was already good enough.
I don't think I like Bonsly more than everything in low tier.
Not really for me.
He's friend shaped. He's shaped like a friend.
I guess. I won't fight you on it super hard.
I think he goes in mid. Mime Jr.
Mime Jr.
I like more than Bonsly.
Mime Jr. is a baby Pokemon that deserves to exist purely because Mr. Mime is the most ugly thing in existence, and also because Smoochum exists.
Yeah, it's almost a tragedy that they brought Mime Jr. into the world with the knowledge that you'll have to evolve it into Mr. Mime. Like, if you had a soul, you would slap an Everstone on that bitch frame 1.
That is exactly what I would do, because Mime Jr. is so cute, so adorable, and it's a tragedy. It really is a tragedy. I'm feeling high tier with this one. I would say,
yeah, I agree.
I like Mime Jr. a lot.
Confuse them with Teeter Dance. Happiny
is also, I don't know, it's at least cute. It feels like another baby Pokemon that wasn't really needed, is the thing.
I'm a little concerned about the implications of a baby Pokemon with an egg.
I didn't even think about that. Oh god, it's the Kangaskhan memes all over. It's the Kangaskhan.
What did you mean by that, Game Freak?
Oh wait, hold on. No. Let me look it up, because I thought it's just now coming back to me. Isn't it a stone where it's like it's practicing holding the egg? Let me look this up. I feel like that's the lore explanation. It's coming back to me. Does Happiny hold an egg? Because I feel like it's just a stone that Egg-shaped rock in its belly pouch. So it's practicing to be a mother like Chansey. So no, Game Freak didn't do it. Game Freak is
I'm
they
somewhat
finally won the sus. Why, Neon?
They beat the
Why?
allegation.
You know what? I think that's enough lore sauce to it. The fact that it's a stone, that I feel like that on its own improved my opinion of Happiny. I feel like that's a really cute detail, actually.
That is really cute. I'm thinking high tier.
You know what? Just for that lore detail, I'll agree with you on that. I think that's really cute.
I also like how it's also shaped like an egg by itself.
Chatot. If you've played Pokepark Wii, you saw this motherfucker all the time. You can also make it say the N-word with its
Pokemon
signature
Mystery
cry.
Dungeon, you saw this motherfucker all the time.
Oh yeah,
and
also Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
And you wanted to kill his ass. You wanted to fucking break that bird's neck.
Shut up, Neon. Smiles go for miles. All right.
He is the Benson regular show of the Explorers Guild. Always getting on you and your partner Pokemon's Mordecai and Rigby ass.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the little speech you do at the beginning of each day. I know number 3 smiles go for miles. Don't shirk work.
Number 1, don't shirk work. Smiles go for miles. 3, fuck, I forget.
Yeah, I know those two. I just don't know the third one.
Let's see. Don't shirk work. I need to know. Smiles go for miles.
Well, while you're trying to remember that, slurs. Chatot can say slurs because its signature move. I believe you could
run away and pay.
Oh, yeah, there we go. But yeah, you could make Chatot. You could record a cry for Chatot. Then it would say that cry with its signature move, Chatter. And so it was banned from competitive Pokemon because you could just put inappropriate shit in there. And they didn't want to deal with it.
Use racial slurs. Okay, it's just for
its
that.
Cry was
Chatot,
also
goes in the God tier. Because it's the only Pokemon that can canonically say slurs.
Yeah, no wonder the feature was eventually removed.
Boo, let people have fun. Let people enjoy things, Nintendo.
Yeah, also, the power of the cry was based on how loud you were. And so if you wanted a competitively viable ideal Chatot, you would scream into your microphone as loud as possible, peak the mic.
Oh, that's
and
sweet.
It would that was the only way to get it to maximum base power.
I mean, if I blow out my opponent's eardrums, I suppose that is a strategic advantage in battle.
I don't know. I feel like everything we've talked about, all the funny anecdotes, I feel like he deserves high tier. The design on its own doesn't really do much for me, but I feel like all the fun stuff surrounding him, I feel like that elevates it. I do like that
its head is a music note and its tail is a metronome.
That is cool. Spiritomb. That's a sick motherfucker.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't have much to say about that.
Same.
Everyone knows Spiritomb from Cynthia.
It's cool.
I would say
I would say high tier again. I feel like it's cool.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the coolest ghost Pokemon of its ilk in this generation, which we will get to.
Yeah, now we got the fucking killer, the destroyer of worlds.
I wonder what tier Garchomp will go in. Neon, you can do the honors. We don't have to discuss this.
You're right.
So, you wanna talk about something? You wanna?
I've never been that big on Garchomp.
What? What do you mean? It's Garchomp. Okay, hold on. You wanted Rampardos in God tier over Garchomp. Are you crazy?
Rampardos is cooler.
No. Dude, Garchomp is like
hold
a
on.
badass.
There's one thing that will remind me how cool Garchomp is. I need to see Garchomp flying again.
Dude, okay, Garchomp has like the perfect
Flying.
color scheme. The red and the navy blue and the yellow. It looks super fierce. It's a land
Okay,
shark.
I saw Garchomp. I saw Garchomp flying again. I'm now reminded the error of my
Thank
ways.
God. Thank God. Okay.
See, it was every time I saw him in the game, I was just like, wow, he is cool looking, but he's not like I like Salamence more. I liked Dragonite and
come
Charizard
on.
more.
Garchomp is
well,
way
I like
cooler than.
Tyranitar.
Okay, Tyranitar,
I like
you have
Tyranitar
a.
more.
No, actually, I do like Garchomp more than Tyranitar. I think Garchomp is sick as hell. The only
I
one
think
of
what
those
threw me off
Pokemon
about
you.
Garchomp was that it looked a little too thin, but that now that I realize because it's supposed to be like a land and air shark. I get it now.
Yeah, I'm glad you saw
As
the
a kid,
error
I
of
didn't
your
get it
ways.
as I got older. Yeah, once I saw an image of it flying, I'm like, okay, no, that's sick as hell.
This line is really good throughout. I think every single stage of it is very, very solid.
I think Gibble goes in high tier and Gabite.
The thing is, I don't think
I
Gibble.
like how
It's weird. I don't. It doesn't feel right to have him in the same tier as Combee and Pachirisu.
Do you think he should go higher? He should go in top tier?
Honestly, you know what? I think it's fine having him as at like top of high tier, because I don't think he's quite that good.
None of these are. Yeah, these tiers aren't ordered, but
Yeah.
I'd say
We can know in
he
the
doesn't
back of
have,
our
like,
heads
the
top of
saw.
high tier.
He will become a god in Garchomp, but he does not have the oomph that the top tiers have. Gabite, I think he goes right alongside Gibble.
You know what? I'm chill with that.
No one wants Gabite. They want Garchomp.
I think that Gabite, I feel like he avoids a lot of the issues that a lot of middle evolutions have, where they just look like awkward transitions between the first and final evolutions. Well, he is very much a clean transition between them. I feel like he looks sick with it while being that, and I appreciate that about Gabite.
Yeah, I just he just looks like the midpoint between Gibble and Garchomp. Munchlax.
I think he's cute. I like the little guy.
I see him. I literally just only think of Chowder.
You know what? I don't blame you. I mean, he's not technically necessary, but he is a cutie, and for that I'll give him the pass.
I would say, does he go in high tier? Does he go in mid tier? I'm thinking if he didn't remind me of Chowder, I would put him in mid tier, but because he reminds me of Chowder, I want to put him in high tier.
You know what? I'm fine with high tier.
Looking at him gives me pleasant memories, even though it's not entirely his own doing. Lucario's god tier, there will be no arguments against that.
Oh, so yeah, so I'm gonna argue that. I'm gonna argue against you there.
What tier would you put Lucario in?
I'd put him in top tier.
What tier would you put Lucario in, you sycophant?
I'd put him in top tier, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna use the Smash Bros. Card to overrule you.
Bro, I don't care about Smash Bros. I've only played Brawl as a kid ages
he was
ago.
In Brawl.
I don't care.
He was in Brawl. He fucking dueled Meta Knight and hung out with Solid Snake.
Lucario's cool and all.
Also,
he's a good design. I feel like he's mad overrated.
Goku.
He is so overrated. Like, as much as I like Lucario and believe he is top tier, that is not god tier to me.
No, I'm straight up overruling you on this one. I mean,
it's not the most offensive god tier placement thus far. That would be Rampardos, but
Bone
we
Rush,
aren't.
Aura, his whole Aura thing. Not to mention, in the anime, how he has like Lucario and the Mystery of Mew is one of the best movies in Pokemon. He has one of the
I don't
most
think I've
tragic
seen that one actually.
backstories.
I don't think I've seen Lucario and the Mystery of Mew.
It's like universally considered one of the best Pokemon movies.
I mean, that's not a high bar to clear. Let's be real.
True. Riolu, I would put him in top tier.
I would put him in high tier. I think he's a cool boy. I don't think he's on par with all the other guys in there.
I agree, but if you feel strongly about Lucario not being in God tier, then I'm fine with putting him down and in high tier.
Putting him down, yeah, you euthanize that motherfucker.
Euthanize him? What the fuck?
Because he said put him down. That was a long silence.
I was gonna say because like he's also kind of a dog, so I don't know if that was intentional or not, or you just said put him down in general.
That wasn't intentional, but you know what? It makes it funnier. It makes it more apt. We should put him down. Hippopotas.
Let me think. And Hippowdon. Okay, let me ask you this real quick. First, which do you prefer between yellow or black?
Oh, easily black. Black is cool. That being said, I like both color schemes.
Yeah. I think I prefer the yellow a little bit, if only because the it provides more contrast to the gray of its like nose and back and feet, whereas black is just kind of black throughout.
I think it's cool that it has two colors. Also, oh my god, the 3D models murdered him.
Yeah, no more sand pouring out of the back, much like Typhlosion.
Why do the 3D models have to be so anti-fun? I feel like Game Freak said, okay, let's like clinically design this to be as boring as possible. Like, come on, you didn't have to slaughter my boy. But yeah, Hippowdon, cool. I'd put Hippowdon in top tier. I think he's nice and fierce looking. I like the sand. He's a cool dude.
I would say. I'm sorry. My mind blanked out for a second. What did you say?
Yeah, I was wondering. Oh, I think Hippowdon is top tier.
I mean, I do like how big that motherfucker opens his mouth, just like a real hippo. Hippos are, by the way, I don't know if you've seen too much footage of real life hippos in the wild. Hippos are like scary motherfuckers. Like actually one of the most dangerous animals on Earth.
Oh yeah.
They will destroy your shit. They will push that shit invert. They will invert that asshole.
I think he's sick with it enough for top tier.
I don't feel.
I think he's on par with everyone in top tier right now.
I'm not 100% on it, but I suppose it's fine. Hippowtas, on the other hand, I think he kind of mid.
I think he's cute, but I don't feel that strongly about him.
Explain to me how his eyes go from the top of his head out of a hole to the side of his head when he evolves.
I mean, it wouldn't be the strangest evolution, come on.
Also, why
I feel like
is he
that's
camouflage? Well, why does he lose
because he's got
camouflage?
I mean, I wouldn't say he... okay, he loses the literal pattern, but...
Exactly.
Okay, that is a bit weird, come to think of it.
Why he camouflage and then not camouflage?
You know what? I'm fine with putting him in mid.
I really like Skorupi and Drapion.
Skorupi not so much, but Drapion is a sick motherfucker. Drapion.
I like... Skorupi is like my favorite shade of purple. I literally can't say it any better than that. I just adored that particular shade of purple.
You know what? Where would you put both of these dudes?
I really love Skorupi's design. Honestly, and you might think I'm crazy for this, I'd put both of them in top tier.
Well, first of all, Drapion, yeah, I totally agree with that. Skorupi, you know what? I don't dislike him passionately enough to bar you from that. I'll let you have that one.
Isn't he like our first like legit scorpion Pokemon, not counting Gligar because like a weird flying scorpion thing?
Yeah, he is the first.
Yeah, like if depending on the day, I could be convinced of Drapion in God tier, but I feel like
no, definitely not.
He can't stand up with Garchomp. But I like him. I like both of them so much. Krogunk and Toxicroak.
Toxicroak is pretty sick. Like, it took a while for Krogunk and Toxicroak to grow on me, but now that they have, I think they're, specifically Toxicroak. Krogunk I'm not as big on, but he's still pretty cool. I like his little orange cheeks. Here, let me get a big image of Toxicroak up.
Do you remember in the Pokemon anime that Krogunk became the one to punish Brock for his simping?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I think, dude, I love the razors or the little stabby things on Toxicroak's hands.
Yeah, I do like the Assassin's Creed hidden blades he's got. It almost kind of looks like to me, like now that I look at Toxicroak in retrospect, he kind of looks like a prototype Greninja.
You know what? That is kind of apt. But listen, he's got the DNA, and that means he's sick with it. I don't know. I think Krogunk I would put in. Because like Krogunk is a bit ugly, but he's also cool ugly. I think he kind of pulls off the look.
Yeah, I'd say Toxicroak in top tier.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Krogunk in
high tier.
Yeah, I agree. Carnivine. Carnivine.
I kind of like Carnivine. I'm not gonna lie.
Really? Really?
It's a Venus flytrap.
Carnivine is one of the most forgettable Pokemon in the entire Pokédex.
No, that's not Maractus.
Okay, well, you got me there, but still, he's up there.
I like Carnivine.
I'd put Carnivine in low tier.
One of the coolest plants in the world. It's a Venus flytrap with eyes and hands and legs.
He's just kind of goofy looking. I'm like, normally I like silly guys, but he's just too forgettable. He's too nothing. Like, you're never gonna use him in battle because he sucks, stats-wise. You're never gonna... Like, he just doesn't really have an appeal to me. He's not silly enough that I like him on that basis, but he's not cool enough that I like him on that basis either. He's just stuck in the land of nothing.
I would put Carnivine in high tier.
Can we split the difference and put him in mid?
You would put him in low? Seriously?
I would put him in low. I would.
He's so funny.
I think he's so nothing.
Looking. Imagine him opening up his doopy Venus flytrap mouth.
I think he's the most nothing Pokemon. Well, not of all time. There's definitely worse Pokemon than Carnivine, but still, he's just a blank slate that makes me feel nothing but like, man, that was a real pointless Pokemon.
I like the only Pokemon that I feel is like I'm up there with Carnivine in all of these tiers are Vespiquen and maybe Bibarel.
I just really don't like Carnivine.
Okay. Finneon and Lumineon. You want to talk about forgettable Pokemon?
Yeah. I mean, Lumineon's pretty, so I'll give her that. Finneon is like almost as nothing as Carnivine, if not more. Finneon is just another fish Pokemon of the many fish Pokemon. I mean, I guess he has butterfly fins. Okay, I don't know. I'd put Finneon in low tier.
I do
Finneon
kind of
low.
like the pink. I found I like the pink of Finneon.
I guess it is a good
don't
color
like that
scheme.
I don't like that it loses the pink as so much in its evolution. I feel like there should be more pink.
That now that you point that out, I do actually agree. Like that little circle around its face behind the eye should be pink in Lumineon, or something
I feel like there
like
should be
that.
a pink stripe around Lumineon, or the pink accents to its like wing things, to its wing fins. I think Lumineon should go in mid, because it's kind of cute looking. I mean, Finneon goes in mid, and then Lumineon goes in low.
I'd actually switch those placements, personally. I think Lumineon is prettier, even if it's, I guess, less colorful. I think it works a little bit for Lumineon, because Lumineon is supposed to be camouflaged amid, like, the ripples of the water and the ocean depths. So, like, lore-wise, it makes a bit more sense. Maybe Finneon, stays closer to the surface, and so can get away with it more, whereas Lumineon is, beautifully traveling through the depths. But, I don't know, they're both pretty forgettable, let's be real.
I think both of them can go in mid.
I guess that's a decent compromise.
I can hear the A button clicking in the background every time you're shiny hunting. We try to scroll down a little bit. Mantike. Gee, I wonder where I'm gonna rate this Pokemon that has no relation to
Neon. You know what? I'm not even gonna put in my input here. You're the Manta guy. You have free reign over the Manta Pokemon.
You know what's crazy? Mantike isn't even in my top favorite Pokemon of all time list. I just like manta rays. I just think they're cool. And when I was trying to think of what are cool mantas in fiction that I can base my avatar off of, and the only one I could think of that was Mantike, because Mantine kind of looks a little too big and doopy looking. Mantike looks like a manta mascot, so I just took that and made it a little edgier. So I would put Mantike in top tier, not god tier.
I will allow it. I don't feel like I have a stake in this conversation that even begins to compare to yours. Hey, if they ever make a bagel Pokemon, though, you better do the same for me.
You got it. Snover and Obama Snow.
Obama? I think they're both kind of cool.
Where did they go?
I don't feel strongly about them. I feel like they both go in high tier.
I was literally about to say that. I was like, I can't explain why. I just think they're just high tier.
They're cool dudes. I just don't think they're
tier list again.
Yeah. Like they're not favorites of mine, but they're cool. I don't mind them.
Oh, I gotta shrink it so much now. Oh god, no, I shrunk it too much. Oh, jeez, I'm crow. Okay, let me. There we go. Okay, that's as good on OBS as I can get it for right now. Weavile.
Weavile is cool. It's definitely at least top tier. Do we agree on that much?
Yeah. I wish it was a little what's the word I'm looking for? I kind of don't like how neat the headdress thing that it has is. I feel like I wish it was like a little more frilled and like a little more wild to go with the Weavile's like fast moving and like fierce look.
I don't know, that never really bothered me. I don't think it's quite god tier, but I feel like Weavile is super sick. And that means redneck friend of ours will be fucking murdering us when this comes out because he loves Weavile.
It's not quite god tier. It's fine in top tier.
Magnezone is also very cool. One of the better inanimate object Pokemon as well. I'm thinking probably high tier. I don't think it's quite good enough to go in top, even though I do really like it. I don't think it's
Can
quite...
I say something that might be controversial?
Go for it.
I think I might like Magneton more than Magnezone.
I definitely disagree with that.
There's something about the idea of just 3 Magnemites fucking fused together that I kind of like more than the idea of just one big unit of a Magnemite.
I don't agree with that. I think Magnezone is definitely better. I'm feeling strong high tier for it.
Look.
Yeah, that's cool. Not really much to say about Magnezone, honestly. I just like him. Are you okay with the high tier placement?
I'm battling back in my head, but yeah, the high tier is fine. I don't think he breaks to the top tier.
Alright, can we agree that Licky Licky is the ugliest Pokemon ever to be designed ever, and why does it exist?
How are you gonna say that when Ambipom is right there?
I mean, you do raise a good point, but I think they are similarly ugly. I think Licky Licky is so unappealing looking. I mean, granted, it wasn't working with good source material, but the funny thing is that there was a beta design for a Licky Licky for Generation 4 that had like, it was like this weird spike ball thing, and it was, you know, a really weird design, I will say. It's like not a great design either, but it's so much better than the actual one we got that it's just like, why? Licky Licky just looks like a giant baby. I hate the Wi-Fi symbol it has. I hate its hair floof.
The Wi-Fi symbol pointing down to its crotch.
Yeah. I hate how fat it is. Okay, you want to know what it looks like? I have the perfect comparison here. Here, let me get the video and link it to you, because I think you'll see you'll pick up what I'm putting down in a few seconds.
Well, now I'm very curious.
All right.
I'll see.
Check hosts only.
If I'm able to put it into the Who Wants to Gnaw on Human Bones.
Have you seen this video before?
I have not. 15 years ago. God damn. Yeah,
it's very old. Oh, I hear it from your end. It's just this guy in a pink costume running around in a field.
This seems like the start of an analog horror.
But yeah, that's who Licky Licky reminds me of now that I'm looking at it.
I don't think he is like the worst designed Pokemon of all time. I do think the
he literally has a bib on his stomach pattern. Come on, he just looks like a giant baby. I hate it.
That's kind of funny though.
I think he belongs in
that he's fat and he has a bib.
I think he belongs in piss tier. I'm not even gonna lie.
No, I'm fine with low tier. I don't think he belongs in piss tier. He is not on Ambipom's level.
I think he kind of
I
is. I
kind
think he's so ugly.
I kind of like how doopy looking he is. I think he's like an endearing looking stupid. I like his stupid little bib. I like how fat he is. I like his stupid little hair cowlick that's pasted backwards.
Every aspect of this aesthetic is putting me off.
I like the idea of him waddling over to lick something.
I guess I don't hate it as passionately as Ambipom, but like
I think low tier is fine.
I'll concede for now.
Ooh, Rhyperior. Ooh,
I like Rhyperior.
We were talking about earlier how Bastiodon looks like a fucking tank. This thing looks like it fucking fought in wars.
Rhyperior is such a weird evolution for Rhydon because
Rhydon was already peak.
Yeah, so you get Rhyhorn and Rhydon, which look like, very natural continuations of each other, very normal, very standard. And
Rhyperior kind of looks like a mega evolution.
Yeah. It looks very weird in the context of the line, but I also very much like it. Like, it's such a weird out-of-the-box idea, but I dig what they did.
God tier.
I don't think it's quite that high. I think it's a good top tier.
I'm fine with putting it in top tier for now, but we can revisit it later, because I think he's way better than Bastiodon.
I think they're about on the same level. Tangrowth.
Tangrowth is not on the same level, though.
Tangrowth is like the most stereotypical continuation of Tangela that you could imagine. That being said,
just overgrown Tangela.
That being said, I don't know. I kind of like Tangrowth. He's all right. Not like passionate love or anything close, but
I'd put him in a mid. I don't feel anything special about him.
I think he belongs in high tier. I think he earns that placement.
I like Magnezone more than I like Tangrowth.
I mean, same here. I mean, come on, Tangrowth is a bit of a silly guy.
Okay, I guess he is a big, wobbly spaghetti monster. With arms. I guess the arms do a lot for him. Electivire.
Electivire is cool as fuck. Just direct improvement on Electabuzz. Same thing for Magmortar. I think they both occupy the same brain cell in my mind, and both are sick with it. What are your thoughts and feelings?
I've never felt too strongly about Electivire.
I mean,
I would say I honestly think I prefer Electabuzz. I don't like what they did with Electivire's face. I like Electabuzz's
let me get a close up.
More.
Let me get a close up of Electivire. That I can see what you're talking about. Now that I am looking at it up close, I do kind of see what you mean.
Yeah, right? Like the eyes, the fierceness. Not to say Electivire doesn't look fierce, but like they completely changed his face entirely.
I feel like high tier then. I feel like high tier is a solid placement.
Not yellow, if you made Electivire not yellow, you wouldn't know that it's related to Electabuzz.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far. There are enough design similarities here that people would connect the dots. I mean, people saw Drampa and thought it was an evolution for Dunsparce. I feel like people would connect those dots pretty quickly. But yeah, I'm thinking high tier for it.
I'm fine with that. Magmortar.
Let me get a close-up of Magmortar as well. Magmortar. He does still have the funny duck face. However, he is cool as hell.
Yeah, the lips are the worst problem, but he does have arm cannon. And arm cannon does make you objectively cooler.
You know what? I think I'm also going high tier for this because I don't think I'd quite put it on the level of the other top tiers.
I agree.
But he's pretty sick with it.
What's this one? Togekiss?
Yeah, Togekiss. Am I crazy for thinking that Togekiss might be god tier?
Yes, definitely.
Togekiss
What
is
about
so
this says
cute.
god tier?
Togekiss is so cute. It's friend shaped.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that, but I wouldn't say it's god
I want to
tier.
ride around on a. It's literally a bird, but with like the brightest, happiest smile you've
It
ever
is very
damn seen in your life.
story.
Bro, Togekiss so adorable, so cute. I think Togekiss is awesome.
I was just gonna say high tier because like I don't feel very.
We
strongly
can
about it.
split the difference. I will allow it in top tier.
I'm just surprised. God tier. I'm looking at everything god tier. It doesn't even.
Togekiss is so cute. Togekiss is adorable. Come on.
Yanmega.
Should have been Bug Dragon. Why wouldn't? Come on.
True.
It's so perfect for that typing.
Outside of that though, fucking badass design.
I think Yanmega. I like how fast it is. I like how fierce it looks. It is kind of.
It's a bug that would be in the military.
Bro,
This is a military grade bug.
It's got spikes on its back. Like, come on, it needs to be dragon type.
I want to say, at best, top tier.
Yeah, that's definitely where it caps out. You know what? I'd allow it into top tier.
Okay. Leafeon and Glaceon.
I think they are both very, very good evolutions. I feel like this is when
I like Glaceon more than Leafeon.
I agree with that, but I think they're both really cute and really pretty and majestic looking.
Leafeon's never been one of my favorites, and Glaceon just looks. I like how sleek and slender it looks.
Glaceon, could we agree on top tier for it?
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm Gucci with that.
Leafeon,
high tier.
I can agree to that.
Gliscor. I fucking love Gliscor.
Gliscor is badass as hell. Literally makes Gligar. I mean, don't get me wrong, Gligar is cool, but I mean, no competition. Come on.
Yeah, no, I'm getting a Gliscor fucking immediately if I get a Gligar. I'm thinking top tier.
Same. Like, I don't think it quite has the sauce for God, but it is really good. Mamoswine, I am also a really big fan of. I like its big tusks. I like how rotund it is. The one thing that puts me off of it, I don't get the blue on it either. It kind of shares a problem with Monferno, but to a lesser extent.
I'm more okay with the blue on Mamoswine since it's the final evolution and just develops it as it goes on. Because as funny as Piloswine is, it's just bigger, taller, humpier Swinub. But then Mamoswine, he gets the tusks. He is still fucking.
Funnily
massive.
enough, there was originally an evolution for Piloswine in Gen 2. It's a cut beta Pokemon. It is awful. It is literally just bigger Piloswine. It is, I'm not even joking, literally bigger Piloswine. After Piloswine was already bigger Swinub. Mamoswine is so much better than what we could have gotten. Honestly, I'm feeling another top tier here, though. I think he's really sick.
He is big and strong, and will impale a motherfucker on those tusks.
Porygon Z. I love this guy. I am a huge Porygon Z fan.
I've never been too crazy on the Porygon lines. Like I like him more than Porygon 2.
I am big on the Porygon line because of Porygon Z. I don't know what it is about this guy, but like, okay, so you've got, I mean, the joke is 3D modeling and whatnot. So you've got, your low poly Porygon, then, you smooth it out for Porygon 2, which is funny. And then Porygon Z looks like he's going crazy. Like we're transcending into the 4th dimension. We've got his appendages all weird. He's floating. It's like the perfect continuation for the line. Also makes it even funnier that Porygon Z is actually way worse competitively than Porygon 2. I'm pretty sure they have like the exact same base stat total. And Porygon 2 just happens to have them in better places, plus can hold the Eviolite. So that's rough for Porygon Z. But still, I would evolve it. Because I love this guy. I'm going top tier again.
I wouldn't put him in top tier. I'm thinking more high tier.
I would absolutely. I am gunning straight for top tier with this guy, dude. I like this guy a lot.
I won't fight it too much. Can we put Gallade in top tier?
I've never been big on Gallade. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't feel much for him.
It's got blade arms. That's the coolest fucking shit.
I feel like other Pokemon do that better, though. I feel like Bisharp does it better. I feel like Scyther does it better, even. I've just never been a big Gallade fan. I would always go right for Gardevoir. Like, Gardevoir looks so regal and majestic and serene.
I like that we can have it both ways. I like that 2 goats can exist in a dynasty.
I guess, but like...
Especially because okay. Gallade has later gives way to Iron Valiant, which is one of my new favorite Pokemon.
Well, we'll get to that when we get to that, but you want to hear something crazy? I know you're going to flip your shit when you hear this. I think he's mid-tier. I think he's that. I think he's. I feel that nothing about him. I really don't like him that much. I feel like he's right at home in mid-tier at how much of a flat line Gallade is. It feels like, okay, here's your generically cool option compared to, the other version that has all the sauce, all the regalness, really fits the line. It's just kind of nothing to me.
That's so cool, though.
It's not. Well, okay, what tier would you go for?
Top tier.
I feel like we got to split the difference here. Because I really don't like this guy.
Blade arms are so cool.
I don't know.
Probopass.
He's kind of ugly.
I kind of like the Groucho Marx thing going on.
He's definitely...
and then breathing out the smog to make the mustache.
I will say he pulls off the ugly look better than, some of the other Pokemon. Licky Licky, I'm looking at you. So I wouldn't say he's that bad. I don't know, I'm feeling mid for him.
I'm fine with that.
Dusknoir. Dude,
that's fucking top tier.
Same.
Mystery Dungeon Explorers motherfuckers know what's up.
Hell yeah. Dude, he's so cool.
Froslass.
Am I crazy for thinking Froslass? Am I crazy for thinking God tier?
Not as crazy as you were for, what was the other one you tried to... Not as crazy as Togekiss. I sooner believe Froslass, but...
I love her. I love the ghost kimono thing
Glalie,
she's got.
Right?
No, she evolves from Snorunt, and it's a branch evolution.
Oh, okay.
So the 2 goats are coexisting.
Even though you hate Glalie.
I don't hate him. I just think he's mid. But I'm saying two goats are coexisting for your sake. Because I need to convince you that Frostlass is awesome.
I much like Gardevoir and Gallade, except this is an even like wider spectrum now between fierce and elegance.
I love Frostlass's elegance. I think she's cool. I think she's pretty. I feel like if I saw Frostlass in the wild, I would go completely silent and like be unable to move. I'd be like completely transfixed on her. It's just so regal looking.
I'm fine
really
with bumping it up to top tier. I just don't. It doesn't
I
have
really
the
think
God tier
I think it has the
sauce.
god tier sauce. I think it deserves it way sooner than Rampardos.
No, I disagree.
I feel like
with that. I
Frostlass has the
sooner
same.
I would put Dusknoir into God tier before I'd put Frostlass.
I feel like Frostlass has the same sort of appeal that Roserade has going on. That sort of regal, that mix of regal and cool that's just perfect. That just pushes all my buttons the right way.
We can revisit it. I think it's fine
okay.
right now.
I'll allow it to be
Rotom.
revisited. Rotom is cool. Very, very cool. I love how much of a trickster he is. I love that he possesses different appliances. That's a really cool gimmick for a Pokemon. Specifically for a Ghost Electric Pokemon.
And later in Pokemon, he just becomes your Pokedex.
Also, apparently he's not a mythical Pokemon, which is very weird to me. Apparently he's in the same camp as Spiritomb, where he's just a normal Pokemon.
I never viewed him as a legendary. He's just.
I always thought he was a mythical.
Nope.
Yeah, I always thought he was like in the same classification as like. I mean, we've got all the fairies right there, and Manaphy and stuff like that. But yeah,
I would say Rotom is high tier.
I think there's a decent case for top, but I'm also
let me take a look at what he turns into again.
Well, I don't think his forms are all that great, to be honest. They're goofy, and I do enjoy them, but they're not what sells the Pokemon to me, I guess.
Let's see. Fan Rotom is pretty cool. Fridge Rotom is funny. Washing machine. I think my favorite Rotom is. It's hard to say.
I feel like it's either Fan or Lawnmower for me. Fan because it does look legitimately sick.
Like Lawnmower has devious intentions.
Yeah, Lawnmower is just funny.
Washing machine is also really funny. Like he's just sitting there.
You know what? I feel like he deserves top. Now that I'm looking at them again.
Yeah.
Come on, he's such a trickster. He's such a goofy goober.
He is a bit of a goofy goober. The Uxie, Azelf, and Mesprit.
Alright, despite growing up with Diamond and Pearl, I don't really like a lot of the legendaries that you see in the main game. I'm gonna be real with you.
I've never been a fan of the sprites.
The Lake Trio do nothing for me.
That's what I was thinking of, the Lake Trio. I like Azelf the best because blue, and I like its head thing. I like its headpiece thing the best.
Yeah, same. I think Uxie and Mesprit are kinda. I think Mesprit's the worst. I don't like what's going on with its hair.
I like the pink. I like Mesprit's pink. I think Uxie's the worst. I don't like its. I don't like what's going on with its hair. I don't like how it's supposed to be wrapped around its head or something.
I think Uxie and Mesprit are definitely mid.
I'd put Azelf in high, and just to differentiate that their Azelf is the superior one, I'm fine with putting Mesprit and Uxie both in mid. I could be convinced of putting Mesprit also in high because it's not such a big quality gap between Azelf and Mesprit. It's just a preference thing that I like Azelf the best.
I think the other two are mid. Honestly, I think Azelf high is pretty generous.
I would put honestly, I'd put Yuxi in low. I'm just never been a Yuxi fan.
I think it's mid. I think it's
now we got the bot. Yeah, I guess they're fine where they are. Now we got the box legendaries, Dialga and Palkia.
honestly, I've never been a huge fan of these guys. I think they're all right. I think they're cool, but I don't like them as much as the previous 2 gens box legendaries. Despite, growing up with this game, you'd think they'd be my favorites ever, but it's kind of the other way around.
They're definitely not as good as Groudon and Kyogre. Dialga is better than Palkia. We can agree on that, right?
Absolutely, unquestionably.
And I will say this won't entirely count towards the rating because I don't think it exists in Pokemon proper. But Primal Dialga in fucking Explorers as the final boss is
very cool. Here, let me look that up.
Yeah, because I remember literally Primal Dialga is the best Dialga, hands down. It might be a contender for an all-timer Pokemon if it were legitimate.
A Primal Dialga Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah, when you see how like the black on it.
The black?
Am I misremembering? Maybe
it's very dark blue is what I'm looking at. Let's see. Yeah, it's Dialga with like orange highlights is what I'm looking at.
Trying to find the mystery.
Honestly, it's just Dialga with some orange. Yeah, I was misremembering what Primal Dialga looks like.
Okay, I'm looking at the sprite now. Okay, I guess my brain kind of filled in black because of the DS's outlines on sprites. It's definitely it's a darker blue, and the orange helps brings it out, and it's like spikier.
Palkia, I honestly have no feelings for one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, like, even as a kid, you're like, whoa, it's like the Dragon of Time. That's badass. And you're like, the Dragon of Space. It's just like, okay. Time is cooler than space.
I guess Palkia can go in high?
Yeah, it's too cool to not be in at least high tier, but Dialga goes in top tier.
I'm alright with that. Just to distinguish it
cool enough to
from Palkia, I'm okay with it being in top.
And we also put Groudon and Kyogre in God tier in the last list, I think.
Well, I think I gunned for Kyogre to be top tier because I think its face looks kind of weird. Nah, and I'm pretty sure I got that through.
Oh, well. Whatever. But yeah, Dialga... Could Dialga make it into God tier? I don't know.
I don't think so. There are so many Pokemon I'd rather put in God tier. Frostlass, Togekiss. Honestly, Porygon Z, I would rather. Yeah.
Alright, Heatran.
Top 5 signs you're a Heatran male. Rarer than Alpha. Rarer than Sigma, even. Have you seen that video?
I think I have.
It's so good. I love it.
I would say Heatran is... I've never honestly been too big a fan.
I think he's alright. I think he goes in high.
Yeah, that's fair. I am a bit... Regigigas is my favorite Reggie. Outside of maybe Regirock.
Yeah, I agree with that. But honestly, I've never... I mean, I think I said this in the last tier list. I've never been a huge Reggie fan myself. And so honestly, I almost want to say high again, but I know you're gonna be so offended at that.
I kind of want to put him in top tier. Let's also not forget the hilarious sounds that anime Regigigas makes.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think he's high tier. I don't feel that strongly towards him.
We can revisit. It upsets me seeing Heatran and Regigigas in the same tier.
It doesn't. I feel similarly about both of them.
I think he's better than Azelf, Palkia, and Heatran.
Better than Azelf, I'll give you. I don't really feel the same. I feel like him and Palkia and Heatran are like they look right together to me. I know you disagree, but they look right. They look like a trio.
Now, where does Giratina go?
Giratina's so cool.
Does it get God tier for being Pokemon Satan?
Specifically I think it's the one that looks like a snake. I forget which form it's called. I know one of them is the origin form. But I'm not sure which one it is.
I forget. I think that is the origin form where it's like it starts flying and it's like a demon snake.
I think there's a good case for God. It's so
I feel
cool.
Like,
it's literally
Giratina
Satan.
is better than Dialga and Palkia. Plus, Platinum Distortion World is a top like Pokemon moment of all time.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Giratina. Giratina deserves God tier.
Yeah. Cresselia, on the other hand.
I like Cresselia. I think she's nice and regal looking.
I would say high tier.
I honestly want to go top tier. I think Lunala, not Lunala, Cresselia.
There's no way we're putting Cresselia over Regigigas.
Cresselia is better than Regigigas.
She's not even on Dialga's level.
I think she is. I think she's nice and regal.
Where are her legs?
She floats. She don't need them.
Where are her arms?
She floats. She don't need them. She's psychic type. She can make things float. It's not an evolutionary necessity anymore, Neon. You don't get it.
I like the pink disc arc things around her to make her look more like psychic alien and otherworldly, but I don't think she's got the top tier sauce. I'm hard gunning for high tier.
I will concede to it.
Unless you want to put Regigigas in top tier.
I think I'm more passionate about Regigigas not in top tier than Cresselia top tier.
Well, damn. Alright, Phione and Manaphy. Real quick, I forget Phione exists all the fucking time.
Phione shouldn't exist. Why does it exist? It's literally... It's the same thing with Diancie.
It's not even that different.
Okay, it's the literal same thing as Diancie and Carbink, where I'm like, okay, Game Freak definitely wanted these to evolve into each other. They definitely decided later on in the design process that it was going to be a legendary. And so we've got this evolution that isn't an evolution.
Yeah, except this time they're just identical. Like, you put a little bulb thing you move the bulb thing from the top of Fione's head to the tip of the like head strip or whatever, and then you make the eyes yellow, and that's Manaphy.
And then you give it legs.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Well, it flies. Why does it need legs?
It flies? I did not know that.
Yeah, Manaphy floats all the time. Pretty sure.
Zam.
I'm not just horribly making.
Let me look it up.
I'm gonna fact check myself.
Manaphy floating.
I'm pretty sure it flies.
I'm not sure if it does. I always thought they swam.
I remember watching the Manaphy. I remember watching the Manaphy movie.
I didn't see that one, so I wouldn't be able to tell you what happens in it.
Let's see. Please play this GIF. PokemonTender.com, please.
Well, while you're doing that, Phione, I think it's mid at best. I think that would be a generous placement.
I think because it's committing the cardinal sin of why do you exist. I think it should go to either low or piss tier.
I wouldn't go as low as piss, but I think low. I think low I think low fits it.
I think Fiona does not need to. If you said here cut any Pokemon from existence, I would get rid of Fiona. It's not because it's ugly. It just does not need to exist.
What did Fiona even do in like the entirety of Pokemon lore?
I don't know. There's no Fiona movie. It's just a Manaphy movie.
On the other hand, Manaphy is kind of cute. That being said, I don't feel that strongly about it, so high tier.
Yeah, same. Darkrai. Shout out to the biggest fucking cheating asshole in all of Pokemon. That one asshole that Ash fought in the Pokemon Sinnoh League, where he just happened to have a Darkrai.
Darkrai is cool. I don't think it's god tier. I don't think it has that level of sauce.
I could be convinced because it is. I love how simple and yet fierce and terrifying its design is. It's 3 colors, 4 if you count the blue of its eye. But its body is comprised of mostly black, and then the red around the neck, and then the white of the head.
It's sick, but I just don't have that level.
It's like a shadow demon.
I don't have that level of emotional attachment
like he
to
eats
it.
Your dreams.
I mean, his signature move is literally Nightmare, and it puts both Pokemon on the field to sleep. It can put 2 of them on... Or no, is it... No, it's not Nightmare, it's Dark Void. Never mind, I'm mixing that up with another move. But it does put both Pokemon to sleep, and it actually had to be... It was originally 100% accurate. I'm pretty sure its accuracy got nerfed because Smeargle kept using it. And it completely ruined competitive play.
The more I look at it, the more I'm kind of like, maybe this shit is god tier.
I think it's top tier. I would rather put stuff like Frostlass into god tier. Mostly just Frostlass, let's be real.
But Darkrai's so cool looking.
But Frostlass, dude. Frostlass is so regal. Also, okay, now that we're done with Darkrai, why did this tier list, alright, every other form wasn't represented by this tier list, and then suddenly we have Shaman, Sky, and normal form?
Yeah, I was gonna say, am I forgetting something? Is the Pokedex list them as 2 separate entities, or...
I mean, they do look like they evolve into each other, or Shaman would evolve into the Sky form, but they're the same Pokemon. They're different forms. That being said, I love them both.
Yeah, that Sky Shaman is top tier.
I can agree to that.
And then regular Shaman,
I think it also goes in top tier. I think it also goes in top tier. I'm gonna gun for top tier.
It's kind of cute, but like I'm looking if it evolved, maybe. But since I can only have one at a time, and because Sky Shaman is just so much better, I'm just switching immediately. I'm never gonna want to keep it as cute Shaman. I want cool Shaman.
I can imagine situations where you'd want a cute Shaman, where you just want a little pet to... I mean, it's a soft hedgehog. Come on, it's a pettable hedgehog.
I mean, yeah, but Shaman's a flying dog.
But it's a cute little hedgehog, too.
I have one last point of evidence. Which version of Shaman do you see on the cover art of Explorers of Sky?
Irrelevant. I played Time.
I didn't play Sky either. I played Darkness, but
exactly. Also, okay, real quick, if you had to choose, let's say both of the forms were represented in one slot, would it go in high tier or top tier?
You know what? That is an excellent point. Let's keep it in top tier. Let's just keep Shaman in top tier to represent both. Because
I think that is
the Wormadam and Butterme. we'll leave this Shaman off the list, and we'll just keep Shaman here to represent both forms of Shaman.
All right, Neon. I'm performing Pokemon Sacrilege. I'm showing my atheist colors here. Pokemon Satan is way better than Pokemon God.
Oh no, yeah, you're right.
It's not even close.
Arceus.
Arceus can kiss
said...
my Arceus.
It does kind of, it's creative in the way that what it should look like, what Game Freak is interpreting a Pokemon God to be like the creator of like life and the world. It does look like something that would, I like the idea of the fence that it's stuck through like a deer as kind of like an creation of evolution, just like of like life, if that makes any sense. If am I making any sense?
It does look very alien and otherworldly, and I like that about it. It shares, the same design code, the same design DNA as the other, like, Dialga, Palkia, Giratina. So I think that's cool about it. But I don't know.
I think top tier is fine.
I think it's high tier. I really don't care for it. Also, isn't it hilarious how Arceus's entire gimmick was being able to be any type, and then Terastallization just BTFO'd it?
You know what? Just for that, I'm probably dropping it. I forgot that we turned God into a mechanic. Dude, power creep and Pokemon go crazy.
It was his special thing, and now he doesn't have it anymore.
That's crazy. I mean, could you theoretically terrestrialize a typed Arceus, or does that like not have any real advantage?
I mean, it holds a plate. I think it happens before the battle. It just is that type now, and so no, not really. You'd get the same benefit.
It has to hold.
Yeah, it's literally worse. It has to hold. I'm pretty sure you have to use an item slot for it.
Yeah, I forget. Can you like hold? Can a Pokemon have to hold a Terra Crystal?
No, it's a whole separate thing entirely. They still hold their item.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, either way, yeah, power creep knocks it down from top tier to high tier.
And with that, the complete Gen 4 tier list, unless we change something last minute. Are there any?
Let's go bottom. Let's go bottom to top. Piss tier looks good. Is there anyone in low tier who want to drop to piss tier?
Licky.
Out of low tier. No, I don't. I genuinely like him more than these two.
I don't think I'm gonna win the argument, so I'll let it slide.
Anyone in low tier we want to move up? I don't think so.
Nope.
I think low tier is perfect as is. Anyone we want to move up or below mid tier?
I think it's fine. I don't disagree with any of the placements.
Now that we have the whole list like this, should Chimchar go in high tier?
I don't really think so.
Okay. The only ones that would move out of high tier, out of mid tier, are Vespiquen and Carnivine.
I will let you move Vespiquen up if you let me move Frostlass up.
I don't care that much. Let's see. Now high tier Infernape. Yeah, I'm liking everything in high tier. Maybe Buizel's Buizel's fine where he is. Yeah, I think high tier is. I really would like Regigigas in top tier. But
hey, there's always a gambit you could take. Frostlass in God tier. You ever wanna take that to get Regigigas moved up?
See, I'd rather put Dusknoir in God tier before I put Frostlass in God
tier. But I'd rather put
Rhyperior, and I put Darkrai in God tier before any of them.
All right, who do you want moved into God tier that I can get Frostlass moved up for?
let me take a good look. Okay, Darkrai for Frostlass and God tier.
I am okay with that.
Okay.
And all
And
was right with the
then-
world.
And then, is there anyone I can put Regigigas into top tier that you want moved to compensate?
Hmm.
Is there anyone in high tier you think should belong in top tier?
Anyone in high tier specifically?
I suppose, or moved out of top tier into high tier or something.
There's no one that I really want. The closest thing would genuinely be Porygon Z to God tier, but I think the God tier is looking a bit packed already, and so I don't want to overinflate it.
Yeah, I think God tier is fine where it is.
Because in my ideal list, obviously, I'd be swapping out Rampardos, and so all would be balanced, but, you know, unfortunately, I have a fucking idiot with me, so...
No, Rampardos is cool. You just don't see the vision. I think this list is good now. I feel like there's no more changes to be made.
And with that...
Let's see, we got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 God tiers from Gen 4, and only 2 shitters, only 2 pissers.
That is... You know what? Gen 4 kind of goes sick with it. Gen 4 kind of goes crazy. Now that I'm looking at it all laid out.
We did kind of pack the high tier more than usually. I think we have a surprisingly low number of mid tiers relative to everything above it.
I think what it is that because this gen introduced so many evolutions and pre-evolutions of old Pokemon, that those just kind of inherently were better on average. Like, specifically the evolutions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really have any complaints with it.
Yeah, this is a good list.
I did not get the shiny Poplio this time.
Ah,
yeah,
damn.
unfortunately.
We'll have to reset the list and do it again.
Damn it.